Hi, this is Jim Janossy. I'm going to give you a short page lecture covering page 6 of the History of Visual Technology, the 3rd edition. You see that page on the right here. What I'm going to do in this very short lecture is to explain how this page gives you all of your reading assignments and viewing assignments for Unit 1 and gives you access to the work that's due in this unit. What it's intended for you to read and view in Unit 1 is indicated in the red circle, but let's take a look at a larger version of that for clarity. I've expanded it here. Notice the red box is around the Story of Art, chapters 1 through 5. That's the intended reading. Story of Art is a textbook by Ernst Gombrich, and the course website gives you information about how to get that from the bookstore or from Amazon or from Barnes & Noble. It's a very reasonably priced book that has several hundred color illustrations in it. It's really well worth the money, and it costs about $25. The History of Visual Technology is a workbook for this course, and in fact, it is the entire course, GPH 205, Historical Foundations of Visual Technology. The course doesn't use a website in the traditional sense. All of your links to all the multimedia materials for the course are actually here in the workbook. And I'll explain that more in just a minute. Notice there are videos that you watch in parallel with the reading that you do in the textbook and in the workbook. I've grouped these into two different playlists. Unit 1, lecture and tutorial videos, that's one playlist, and then supplemental videos are in another one. Both these sets of videos are required viewing for the course. Notice there's also optional study aids available on the course website. You can print the lecture slides. They're already formatted in 3-up format as PDFs. You can download the slides for each unit and print them if you wish, and it's a good device for taking notes during the lectures. There's also a worksheet that's included in the workbook, and if you print that worksheet, it's a place to gather notes from all your readings and all your viewings. And what it helps you do is the unit summary form, which is one of the 3 items of work that you complete for each unit. Unit Summary Form 1 is a downloadable document in several different formats. You can pick out your favorite word processor, and you distill your notes to get it into machine-readable form on that download document, and then you submit that document to me at the dedicated course email address, and I grade that, and I give you feedback on it. So that's due at the end of the unit. There's also a repeatable online exercise, and that online exercise has only 5 questions in it. It covers all the material in the unit. It's a very simple form of an exercise. Although it's labeled a quiz, it's not a quiz. It's a repeatable learning exercise. And the intention is that you shoot for a perfect score on it. It does have a considerable impact on your course grade, so it's not an optional thing. You do have to do the repeatable online exercise. And there's also a project in each unit, and it's documented at the end of the unit. There's also optional extra credit in each unit. For Unit 1, it has to do with a timeline of Roman history. Just like the project, the extra credit is documented at the end of the unit's pages. And you'll notice that each one of these codes in front of the items that are assigned for reading and viewing has a box above, and you can click on any of those boxes to access the assigned readings and viewing. That's one way of getting to the assigned readings and viewings. Another way to access the assigned viewing, if you have a smart cell phone or an iPad, an iPod, or a tablet computer, you can get free software for these devices that scans the codes that I've put into the upper red circles. Those are called quick response codes. And you may have seen them in various places. They're becoming very popular. Each of those codes on this page encodes the URL that you see under it. With a scanner on a smart cell phone, for example, when you point it at that first of the QR codes, very quickly your cell phone will display the video playlist that is behind that URL. This is a very fast way to be able to view the videos associated with this course without having to have a computer at all. Just one of these mobile devices and the printed page would be sufficient for you to get right there and view the videos. That's what I'm aiming at, is that kind of flexibility in the use of these codes. However, if you're not looking at the electronic version of this, that is, you're looking at a printed copy, and you don't have a smart cell phone or one of the other devices I mentioned. The third way of getting to the multimedia material is to simply manually enter that very short URL. I create these URLs to be intentionally short, so with the entry of about 10 characters, as you see circled, you will get to the video playlist for Unit 1 lecture and tutorial videos. And that's the way each one of these boxes work. You'll see boxes like this throughout the entire workbook because I give page lectures like this on many pages in the workbook. It's the same lecture I would give in a classroom if we were focused on that topic, but I present them this way with videos that are recorded offline so that you have a better chance of listening to those lectures and reading the material with any of the kinds of devices I just mentioned for access. Let's take a look at the work due, that is, what you're graded on. The red circle you see here on page 6 highlights the items that are due in Unit 1 and, in fact, in every unit. Every unit is identical in having the same structure. There is a unit summary form, the electronic version of the worksheet that you find at the end of the unit. That's actually a matrix, and you put facts in the columns and in the rows as called for by the labeling on those columns and rows. The repeatable online exercise is exactly as I described earlier. It's conducted on a computer system, but this link will get you directly to the exercise. In another short video, I'll show you the screens that you'll pass through in establishing an account on the exercise system, which includes establishing your own password, and then getting the account set up so that you can access the exercises for this course. Every unit will have a link, as you see here, for AE. Each of those links will go directly to the exercise for the unit. Although a course management system is being used for the exercises, you won't have to navigate it. In fact, you won't have to do much with it at all besides take the exercise. I've tried to eliminate as much extraneous complexity from this course as possible, so for that reason, everything you need is in the workbook. You don't have to go hunting for things in a system that has its own menu structure and a variety of ways to be set up. Finally, the project that you'll notice here in the red circle is contained in printed form at the back of the workbook, and the optional extra credit follows it immediately. The little boxes at the bottom of the page with the QR codes in them work exactly the same way as for the readings and viewings. You can get to those materials by clicking on the box, or with a mobile device by scanning the QR code, or by manually entering those URLs. Let's go over what's assigned for Unit 1 for reading and viewing. It's similar to what's assigned for every unit in the course. There is some reading from the Story of Art. There is the appropriate unit in the History of Visual Technology workbook. There are lecture and tutorial videos, and there are supplemental videos. The work due is the unit summary form, the repeatable online exercise, and the project. And the project itself, as well as other pages, may have QR codes on them, and it's expected that you take a look at the material at the QR code on a page so that you're familiar with the lecture that I would have given in introducing that topic in the classroom. If you have any questions about how the course is organized or how the workbook supports it, please do call my cell phone, which you can reach at the number that's indicated on every email I send out. You can send me a text message, you can use voice on the cell phone, or you can send me an email to the dedicated course email address. Please let me know if you have any questions. My role as your mentor is to help you do as well as you possibly can in this course. It does help if you dig in and start early, and you do have to read the material in the textbook and the workbook, and you have to watch the assigned lecture, tutorial videos, and supplemental videos. This is an online class, but it has a lot of what normally would have occurred in a classroom as visual multimedia resources.